The stories about the next man's athletic exploits are legendary. There may not be anyone who has pulled on the blue and gold of Heelan who has been more talked about than Mike Courey. He was the star attraction for every season and lived up to the hype. As a quarterback at Heelan, he led the Crusaders to the 1975 state championship. On the baseball diamond, he was a star shortstop who caught the eye of the professional scouts and was selected by the Cincinnati Reds in the 1977 draft. On the hardwood, Mike led the team to 2 state tournaments and was named to the all-tournament team in 1976. In all, he earned all-state honors in 3 sports. There was seemingly nothing this man couldn't do when it came to athletic competition. As a parade All-American, he accepted a football scholarship to Notre Dame and would eventually find himself under center for the nationally ranked Irish. After a turbulent career at Notre Dame, in which he was shuttled from position to position without truly finding a home, he graduated with a degree in business management and returned to Sioux City and opened his own painting business. Tragically, his life was cut short at the age of 48 when he lost his battle with cancer. He was inducted posthumously to the Iowa High School Athletic Association Hall of Fame in 2010, and tonight we honor his memory by inducting him into the Bishop Heelan Hall of Pride. Presenting Mike Courey is former Heelan head football coach, Dave Triplett.
Good evening. I'm David Triplett. I had the fortune of being the head football coach for the Heelan High Crusaders in 1975 and 76. When I came to Sioux City, like I said, I inherited a great legacy. One thing I did not inherit was a returning starting quarterback, but in my meetings with the coaches and the coaching staff, I learned that there was a rising junior by the name of Mike Courey, who they thought would be an adequate replacement for Tim. And boy, what an understatement that was. To this day, Mike still remains one of the best all-around athletes and best quarterbacks I've ever been associated with. He knew what it took to win, he prepared, and he competed, especially when things were toughest. All 3 sports, baseball, basketball, and football. I've seen him make great plays at the right time. Clutch hits in baseball. I remember about a 25-foot jump shot he made to win a state basketball game down in Des Moines. And then, of course, the numerous plays he made for us over those 2 years, 75 and 76. A couple things I remember about Mike. My first year we were playing Sioux City East, and we ran the option, and East knew that if they knocked him out and took him out of the game, we couldn't perform and couldn't function. So they came after him pretty hard. They knocked him around, and he came off the field a couple times pretty banged up. But he kept competing, kept playing. At the end of that game when we needed it, he made a key play to help us win. Later in the year in the playoffs when we were playing Dowling, late in that game we had a 3rd and goal going in for a possible game-clinching touchdown, and we called timeout. Mike came over and we talked about it, and we discussed a play, and he thought a play that he mentioned might work, and I said, let's go with it. And it was a pitch to Tom Palello, who took the ball in the end zone and scored, and Memorial Field went wild. And we went on from there to be state champs. Mike was a winner because he was a part of a state championship in high school in Iowa. He was also went to Notre Dame and part of a Notre Dame national championship.
After weeks of speculation, Mike Courey emerged as Notre Dame's starting quarterback. The senior from Sioux City, Iowa, performed skillfully, completing more passes in this game than in 3 previous years at South Bend. Courey took the Irish to 17 quick points, then had to respond to the challenge of a Purdue comeback.
We jumped out 17-0 lead in the first half, and then right before halftime, Purdue came back, scored a touchdown and a field goal to make it 17-10 going in the locker room. And we came out in the 3rd quarter, and we received the kickoff, and it was a very important drive. On the 2nd play, we had a play-action pass where I threw long to Tony Hunter. The cornerback made one false step, and I saw that, so I just threw it up, and Tony ran underneath it. And then we had a 3rd down inside the 10. We had a quick slant play called, but the defense was set up where we couldn't get that, so Tony made an adjustment, and I read it, and we scored on the play. And I think if we hadn't scored on that drive, it would have been a lot closer ball game going down to the wire.
And going down to the wire, Courey's scrambling made sure it wasn't close.
After I made my fake, I looked over towards the end, and I saw that containment was blocked right away, so right then I just yelled go, which means for the lineman that I'm going upfield, and I just got down inside the 5, and there was one guy, and I made a move on him, and just next thing I knew, I was in the end zone. It was exciting.
Playing his first full game at Notre Dame, an excited Mike Courey helped the Irish storm into the national top 10.
So not too many kids can say they've been part of a state championship and a national championship. Unfortunately, as life sometimes does to us, it gives us things that we have to deal with, and Mike left us too early, and we miss him very much. Mike, congratulations on your career. Congratulations on your induction. You certainly deserve it. Go Crusaders.
Ladies and gentlemen, accepting on behalf of Mike Courey and his family is his former teammate, Dan Kelly.
Good evening, and congratulations to all Mike Courey's fellow inductees to the 2022 Hall of Pride inaugural class. A special shout goes out to his fellow teammate and classmate, big number 75, John Hardy. Congratulations, John. You're most deserving. On behalf of our extended Heelan family of proud alumni, I would like to thank the Heelan Hall of Pride Selection Committee and those who helped to make this hall and this event a reality. We are in your debt. I know Mike's parents, Helen and Mike Sr., big sister Patty, Mike, and a few of our beloved coaches and teammates who have left us have a front row seat in heaven and are looking down tonight's festivities, and they're beaming with pride. Mike passed away on December 11, 2007, after a courageous battle with cancer. We wish he were here tonight to accept this award. Mike would deeply be touched and very humbled. He would tell everyone that he was not deserving of such an honor. Mike was destined for greatness. When Mike came home for the very first time, his dad was playing poker with some buddies. He boldly stated, "My son will play quarterback at Notre Dame." His father's dream became his dream. Mike not only played for the Irish, but he played on the victorious Notre Dame national championship team in 1977 as a true freshman. That after having been selected first team All-State in football, basketball, and baseball, having been named a Parade All-American quarterback, and having been drafted by the Cincinnati Reds. Just your average run-of-the-mill senior year. Mike would have had told you that being a part of a state championship football team, finishing third at the state basketball tournament, and finishing second in state baseball meant more to him than meant more to him than any individual achievements. Team success and accomplishment were more important to him. That's what made Mike Courey so special. As a competitor, Mike was blessed with God-given athletic ability. He had a burning desire to compete and win. Mike had a quiet, confident demeanor. He never got rattled. He was a leader. Mike led by example. He was very coachable. He never pointed a finger at anyone when things weren't going well for the Crusaders, which was seldom with him at the helm. Everyone liked playing with Mike Courey. Off the field and court, Mike was just one of the guys. He had a great smile and an infectious laugh. Everyone enjoyed being around Mike, which is about the nicest thing that can be said about anyone in team sports. He was even a better person than he was an athlete. I know it's impossible to thank everyone that helped Mike achieve this pinnacle of his career, athletic career, but there are a couple people I know he would thank. First and foremost, he would thank his parents, Helen and Mike. Mike was adopted and he came home 5 weeks after he was born. They provided a loving and nurturing home. He was raised in a strong Catholic family. He was the apple of their eye. His parents were very proud of Mike's accomplishments on and off the field. They too were humble. One of their proudest moments was when Mike graduated from Notre Dame with a degree in business management. Heelan and Mike, thank you for believing in him. I know he loves you both very much. Secondly, Mike would acknowledge his older sister, Patty. Thanks for always being there and supporting him, Patty, and putting up with his teammates and friends along the way. Mike would thank all his coaches for the commitment to excellence as mentors and positive role models. He truly valued the importance of Heelan pride that they instilled in us all at a very young age. Thank you, Coach Triplett, for giving Mike's induction speech. You had a very special player-coaches bond. We're all grateful for you taking Mike's game to the next level. Coach Collins, we all know Mike gave you and Coach Tenner a heart attacks at the state basketball tournament against Waterloo Columbus our junior year. For those who weren't there, it was at the end of the game. We were down by 2 points, and Mike called a timeout, which we didn't have. Well, we received a technical foul, and we were granted a timeout, so Coach Collins and Coach Tenner had to come up with a strategy. If they got the ball after the technical foul. So they had their best free throw shooter on the team. He missed the front end, he missed the technical foul, so they get the ball out of bounds. And they ran a play, they got to their best free throw shooter again, we tried to steal, then we fouled. And lo and behold, the guy missed the front end of the 1-on-1. Went the length of the court, Mike stepped right inside the free throw line, stood up, took the jump shot, and we tied the game on that shot, went into overtime, and eventually went on to get third place at state. I guess it was just Mike being Mike. Went from being a goat to the hero, and that was Mike. I'd also like to acknowledge Jolene Nolan. She's here still. I'd like to acknowledge her. I know Mike was like a father figure to you, and I know you'd be very proud of the lady you are today. So thank you for coming. And finally, none of this would be possible without Mike's teammates. Mike played for them. He loved his teammates. And Mike played with some great players. He played with Tony Odino, Al Jones, Kelly Forkey, Leo Berger, John Hardy. They were all state first or second team. All the individual honors Mike received were due to his teammates doing their jobs, individually and collectively, and exceptionally well, I would say. In closing, I would like to invite the following people to stand up who are with us this evening. All Mike's coaches, if you would stand. Teachers, teammates, classmates, and friends, if you'd all stand up, please. We are many, and together we'd like to accept this induction to the Heelan Hall of Pride on behalf of our dear friend, our golden boy, Mike Courey. Mike, we miss you. We think of you often. Thanks for the memories.